Hello, YouTube. Hey guys, I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. I have a lot of stories in my inbox, and some of them are a bit shorter than regular, so I decided, instead of making like 20 videos that are maybe like 1 minute long, what if I made one giant Weeabalooza? But yeah, I'm gonna read just a few stories all grouped together. Some of them are short. I hope that's okay with you guys. And I'm going to read them right off of my phone. There may be some like grammatical grammatical errors because I'm going to be doing this all in one go, all in one shot. I'll try to edit it as much as I can, but let's go and let's have some fun. The first story is Creepy Gamzee. Don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But it goes. So a few months ago, I went to this con I had never been to. And this was like my second ever convention, so I was still pretty new. This is a very small con, having about 300 people, if that. I was cosplaying as Equius from Homestuck the first day, and it was fine. I went to the Homestuck panels and had fun. It was near the end of that day that when this guy, that I've met him at the last con, so I was familiar with him, and I will call him Gamzee, came up to me and picked me up without asking. My horns nearly fell off, since I had made them of clay and I was very uncomfortable. He was like this the entire con. He got very sexual with me and a lot of other people. I had a friend who's now extremely close with me, who Gamzee tried to hook up with. Gamzee was 18. I was 15 and my friend was 14. After the con, we found out that he does this with every guy he sees being slightly feminine. Everyone who went to these cons know who I'm talking about. This is why I left Homestuck. Well, you guys know my whole horn incident I had whenever I was into Homestuck, so this is really up for the course when it comes to cosplaying anything Homestuck. But anyway, let's go on to the second story. This second one is called The Weeaboo at the Train Station. So I'm a 17-year-old girl, and at the beginning of a new school year. My friend had given me some anime merch that she had gotten from her trip to Japan. It was just some anime pins and a phone strap, but I wanted to show my gratitude, so I put the pins on my backpack. I take the train home every day from school, so I'm a bit worried about them falling off. But honestly, with the crowd that Hetalia attracts, I shouldn't have been worried about something else. I was waiting at the train station for a couple minutes, with my earphones plugged in, and when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around to see this greasy-looking 20-something-year-old smiling and saying that my backpack was slightly unzipped. I zip it back, thank him, and plug my earphones back in. Much to my annoyance, he taps my shoulder again, and I turn around. I ask him what he wants, and he proceeds to ask, "I see that you like Hetalia, and you have a pin of it, so I'm guessing you like anime." I respond with a quiet, "Yeah?" And then he proceeds to take out his phone to show me his top 10 anime list, which consisted of Bleach, Naruto, DBZ, Death Note, all the weird stuff that you get whenever you first get into anime, which he walks and talks for about what seems like forever. Finally, I see my train in the far distance, and I get ready to say my goodbyes when he abruptly asks me out. I decline, saying I'm only interested in cute short girls, and that I am in love with a cute short girl already, which is only half a lie since I didn't like anybody at the time. He then proceeds to question my sexuality and then awkwardly says, "Oh, I like girls too." My train was quickly approaching, and he chokes out, "Can I at least have a hug?" My train arrives, and before I can even answer, before I can run inside the train, before I can escape his greasy grasp, he squeezes the air out of me before running out of the train station. Needless to say, I took the pins off my backpack and instead opted to put them on my keychain lanyard that I keep hidden inside my backpack. Italia, oh god. I thought the whole Italia thing was over. I haven't really been paying attention much to Italia, so the fact that there's still stories about it is just... Ooh, the people it attracts. But let's go on to the next story. This next one I like to dub Idol Anime Drama, since it doesn't actually have a title, so I'm just gonna throw one out there just so it sounds nice. But anyway, alright, to start this story, it isn't meant to throw shade at any idol group in the cosplay community. It's just to bring light of some things that have been happening. I've been in the cosplay community for about 2 years now, and for a few months now, I've been really interested in this idol anime called Love Live School Idol Project. I've been hearing about that so much, but I have no idea what it's about. Is it any good? Do you guys think it's any good? Let me know, because I've been seeing it everywhere, and I have no idea what it's about. But anyway, at the time, there was really only one The Love Live group that was sort of known of. All the cosplayers were super popular and seemed really nice, which I didn't really have a problem with, until I started my own Love Live group. Things were going well and people joined quickly, filling up all the characters in the group. Now in this other more popular group, one of the girls who runs this group we'll call Amy. Well, Amy, popular as hell, made a post on Instagram after my group was formed, saying something along the lines of, I saw that this new group was formed, basically copying us and having a similar name to us, because we both had groups with our state initials in it, and doing a panel the same day as us. It means so much to me that other groups like us make me really upset. End quote. Right after reading this, my group and I knew for a fact that she was talking about us, and she was. I ended up sending her a message apologizing, but also explaining that we also wanted to start a group, and it's not really fair that you can only be the one group out there. Oh, I know exactly how you feel about that. I know exactly how you feel about that. Amy didn't take this well and got angry, saying, my group has been here longer, and they mean a lot to me, and you're copying us. Amy and I did much more talking, and we ended up just ignoring each other, which worked for me, but nobody else in my group. My group fell apart, and one of the girls in the group deleted Instagram. The drama did settle down for a while, until about 5 to 6 months after it all happened, which is now the present time. I ended up starting another group with some mutual friends of mine, and we are going strong. Currently, there are 2 other groups that we know of that have submitted panels for the same con that's coming up. One of the groups is a close friend of mine's, and the other is Amy's. Now, if you don't know, the con we submitted groups for is very strict when it comes to multiple groups submitting a panel for the same fandom, which will normally only choose one group for each day. My panel's doing okay since we submitted our panel for another day than everyone else's, and our panel got accepted. Now that's left is the decision between Amy's group and a close friend of mine. Naturally, I prefer if my close friend group would be accepted and not Amy's. Not for the fact that she's a close friend, but because I think other groups should have a chance. You're preaching to the choir there. But what I'm afraid of is that if my close friends group does get accepted, yes, of course I'll be overjoyed, but I'm scared that my group or her group will get attacked by Amy, and she'll start some sort of meetup at the same time as our panel, drawing attention away from our panel. Amy has done this before, and it sucks. She did recently make a post on Instagram about how upset and mad she was about my panel getting accepted, but I chose to ignore it and tried not to get involved. Anyways, the point of the story is that some fandoms really need to chill and celebrate the show for what it is and not cause so much drama. I do have a lot of stories to tell, and some are very funny, but I'm choosing this to share to get a point across that everyone needs to be accepting and need to learn that not everything is going to go your way. Just be happy for the people in panels that get accepted and make sure to keep their hopes high so that way they can do the very best. I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. And finally, we have our last story titled Two-Faced Friend. Oh, I know exactly. I haven't even looked at the story, but I know exactly how people feel about two-faced friends. I can't wait to read this one. Lolly and I were not best friends by any means, but we are cool with each other. Anyway, she invites me to go with her to this very big convention that is coming up, and I'm a very active cosplayer. So conventions and cosplay are nothing new to me, but I practically never go to any really big ones, just decently sized ones, so of course I say yes, especially since I did not have work, and I had just enough money to cover certain expenses so the weekend of the con comes. And because we both don't have our license, we had to have my stepdad drive us up to the city where it was being held and drop us off at our hotel. Fast forward to the morning of the day of the convention. Lolly and Lolly's friend, who she also invited, are getting ourselves into our cosplay. Then out, suddenly from the blue, Lolly says, "Aren't you going to take a shower?" I have this thing with my hair where if I wash it too much, it'll get very dry and stiff. So I reply, no. She then responds, "Well, I just thought it would complement your cosplay, but if you want to have dirty hair, that's on you." I would be lying if I said that it didn't bother me, but I did my best to ignore what she said and put it to the rest to the back of my mind. Fast forward again, and it's already noon. Me and Lolly's friends are getting ready to go, but Lolly is still getting ready. She very slowly puts on her cosplay, like one piece at a time per hour, even though it is a very simple costume with not even a whole lot. Like, my cosplay was perhaps the most elaborate one, with several pieces to it, as well as a layer upon layer to the outfit itself, along with a prop, and I did not take nearly as much time as she did. And to top it off, she ever so slowly starts putting on her makeup. And by slow, I mean inhumanly slow. Like snail slow. Makeup itself is hardly even that noticeable. She's pretty much just taking her sweet time at the expense of everyone else, when we could have been at the con at that point. I know how you feel at that one. I know that one. When we actually do reach the con and are walking through the show floor, me and Lolly's friend are trying to keep together with Lolly since it's a big convention and it's hard to find people there. And one more, literally out of the blue, Lolly says, "Go. I want to be alone." And proceeds to simply walk away as though we were dismissing handmaids or something. That night when we were trying to decide what to get for dinner, I suggested going to McDonald's that is directly next door to our hotel, or the Denny that is across the street, since I was on a budget for the trip and needed to spend wisely. Lolly, however, kept wanting to go to very exotic places that are very pricey. She never really had money problems as far as I know, due to her parents having a rather nice income and her boyfriend who was with us and always paying for her. So we pretty much went back and forth until we decided on a barbecue place, which was still fairly expensive, so in the end, Lolly got her way like usual. There are a couple other things that happened, but those I'll save for later, so pretty much what sums up this whole entire month or so, after the convention, I ended up finding out through a mutual friend, B, who is one of my best friends and isn't known to lie, that Lolly invited me not because she liked me or anything, because she simply needed a ride to the convention as well as someone to help pay for the hotel room. So this girl pretty much just used me for ride and money. Of course, I asked Dee where she heard this, and she tells me that Lolly had confided this to her not long before the week of the con. And the only reason Dee didn't say anything sooner was because she didn't wish to start trouble between us, and knowing Lolly, she would have held Dee responsible for whatever drama transpired. Thankfully, I'm not the only person who cut ties with Lolly, since there were several others, besides me, who decided that she had just brought too much grief. Dee included. So needless to say, she pretty much lost almost everything her friends, her casual friends, and even those who weren't even her friend circle, and rarely spoke to her every now and then. She messaged me on Facebook not too long ago trying to get me to feel sorry for her, but in the end, the only person she has left to blame is herself. Well, I hope you guys like this Weeabalooza. If you guys do like it, let me know so that way I can do it again, because this is actually pretty fun. It's a lot different than just reading off onto a computer and just doing it like that. This was actually really, really fun. So, until next time, see you later!